talking about the church folks. I just really would just like them to be real, you know, because it's a lot of fraudulent.
Shaunie O'Neal and Pastor Keion Henderson's relationship was once seen as a fairy tale romance, full of hope and promise. They quickly became a symbol of what many people viewed as the ultimate power couple.
We felt comfortable being honest with each other and just sharing what was going on in our lives and our personal lives.
Shaunie had already been through the challenges of a highly publicized divorce from NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal. Despite this, she managed to build her own empire through Basketball Wives and her various Hollywood business ventures. She was a strong, independent woman who didn't need a man to define her worth.
Ordered the second one before you see. This is the discrepancy.
Okay, I ordered two at the same time.
There you go. All right.
But let me explain.
Enter Pastor Keion Henderson. He was an emerging star in the world of ministry, and his magnetic charisma, combined with his spiritual depth, seemed like a perfect match for Shaunie. People saw him as the ideal complement to her strength and independence. Keion appeared to be the kind of person who would support Shaunie's ambitions and be a good partner in both life and love. The public was captivated by their connection, and many believed their bond was unshakable. However,
watching reality TV, people get super invested, and it's great because, you know,
as often happens with public figures, what seemed like a perfect match on the outside wasn't as flawless behind closed doors. Rumors started to surface, suggesting that the picture-perfect life they were showcasing on social media wasn't as ideal as it appeared.
Where it gets a little tricky.
Then it was time to wrap it up.
Right.
And I said, I'm a lady and I need to go home.
Their Instagram posts with pictures of hearts, family vacations, and seemingly happy moments created a fairy tale image. But the reality was much more complex. Then came the shocking news. After only 2 years of marriage, Shaunie...
No.
So you're talking about like Leon Lonnie Love or something?
But that's real, and you know it. You know you have met that
Shaunie O'Neal filed for divorce from Pastor Keion Henderson. The public was stunned. No one had expected it. What many thought was a solid and unbreakable union had crumbled.
Missed it. It was in the beginning. It was talking about authenticity and how you should be yourself.
In a matter of months, leaving people wondering what went wrong. Was it just a matter of differing values, or was there something deeper at play behind their breakup? In interviews, Shaunie...
I love the doctor. You hear me? That's my girl. I feel like she and we haven't had a chance to like...
Shaunie was open about the challenges they faced. She mentioned that she used to joke with Keion, teasing him about needing to find...
He always tells me he wants to have more kids, so I'm like, well, knock yourself out, because, have a good time with that one. I think
a wife so that the drama surrounding his personal life would die down. There were hints that their relationship wasn't as picture perfect as they made it seem, and the truth behind their separation began to unfold slowly. But it wasn't just personal issues that
It was kind of a test to see if you were going to judge me too. And you didn't.
I did not.
You didn't. And
I actually was mad that I didn't.
Began to strain their marriage. There were also financial concerns tied to Keion's ministry that started to raise eyebrows. In August 2024, Keion made headlines for a controversial move that shocked many of his followers. He asked if
we both support each other. Like, I used to tease him and be like, could you please hurry up and get a wife, and then you could stop.
His congregation to donate $2,100 each toward a $4 million fundraising goal for his church. This sum was a significant amount of money, especially considering the individual contributions he was requesting. For many of his longtime supporters, this fundraising drive felt off. They questioned what the money would be used for, and whether it was truly going to support the church's mission, or if something else was happening behind the scenes. Some members of the congregation openly expressed their discomfort. One church member reportedly said, "I've been donating to this church for years, and now I'm being asked to contribute more than some people make in a month. It doesn't feel right." The large amount of money being asked for, along with the lack of transparency, made many people wonder where their hard-earned money was going. As if the controversy over the fundraising campaign wasn't enough, Keion stirred up even more public debate with a sermon he delivered earlier in the year. During this sermon, he made a statement that many people found troubling. He said, "Blessings don't come from giving to the poor. They come from giving to the church. Your tithe is where your prosperity begins." This statement immediately went viral, but not for the right reasons. Tithing is a common practice in many Christian communities, where members are encouraged to give a portion of their income to support the church. However, the way Keion phrased his message, that blessings only come from donations to the church and not from helping the less fortunate, raised serious concerns. To many, it sounded more like a business venture than a ministry focused on serving the community and helping others. One person from his congregation spoke out after hearing the sermon, saying, "I've always been taught to help others, especially those in need." Hearing him say that blessings only come from donating to the church felt more like a business than a ministry. This sentiment was echoed by others who started to question Keion's priorities. The idea that giving to the church was the only way to receive blessings left many feeling uneasy and uncomfortable with his teachings. On top of this, Shaunie had her own growing doubts about Keion's behavior. As rumors about his financial practices and his questionable decisions continued to spread, Shaunie began to distance herself from the situation. While she had once supported his ministry, she started to feel that the relationship wasn't as fulfilling as it had initially seemed. There were even reports that the emotional toll on Shay must have been overwhelming. She had trusted Keion, but now she was dealing with betrayal. On top of everything, the financial chaos added more strain. Many of her supporters began to feel that she, a woman who had built her own empire with hard work and independence, deserved much more than this kind of treatment. Then, a leaked audio recording surfaced, and things took a dramatic turn. The recording seemed to be a private conversation where Shay was speaking, candidly about her feelings. In it, she expressed how trust had been broken and how her marriage had turned into a lie. Her voice, filled with emotion, conveyed the depth of her pain. Fans and critics alike were moved by the raw honesty in the audio, and many began to speculate about the underlying issues in her marriage to Keion. Though the authenticity of the audio was debated, it resonated with many people who had been following the story. It felt like Shay was finally opening up about what had been happening behind closed doors. The timing of the leak was no accident. It came at a point when financial concerns about Keion's ministry were already in the spotlight. Some followers of the couple felt that Shay deserved more than this. She had worked hard to build her own brand and empire, and now her personal life seemed to be under intense scrutiny. The leaked audio only added fuel to the fire, and many fans began to question whether Shay had been in a relationship built on lies. Some supporters even argued that if Shay was saying her marriage was a lie, then there was undoubtedly something deeper happening that the public didn't fully understand. Shay's decision to file for divorce was seen by many as calculated. She handled the situation with remarkable composure, especially given the public nature of the drama. While Keion remained silent about the details of their breakup, Shay had clearly positioned herself to protect both her reputation and her financial interests. By filing for divorce when she did, she made sure to take control of her narrative before any more damaging information could come to light. Her decision was strategic, and it was clear that she wasn't just reacting emotionally to her marriage falling apart. She was focused on securing her legacy and continuing to grow her empire without being overshadowed by scandal. Shay was determined to keep moving forward with her life, putting her children and business first. Meanwhile, Keion's public image continued to suffer. Whether the rumors about his financial mismanagement and alleged infidelity were true or not, the damage was done. He would now have to rebuild not only his reputation within his congregation, but also his personal life. For Shay, though, it was clear that her future would not be defined by this scandal. She had already proven her strength in handling public scrutiny, and she was prepared to keep going, no matter what. While some fans were eager to see what would happen next, others admired Shay's resilience and the way she was handling the situation. As for Keion, his future seemed uncertain. He had a lot of work ahead of him, and the road to rebuilding trust would be long. His actions, whether intentional or not, had hurt those around him, including Shay. But one thing was clear. Shaunie O'Neal wasn't going to let this scandal dictate her life. Despite the heartbreak, the public drama, and the financial turmoil, Shay was focused on staying strong. She was determined to prove that she could thrive on her own terms. As the world watched, it became evident that this story was far from over. So, what do you think? Was Shay justified in walking away from Keion, or do you think there's more to this story that hasn't been revealed yet? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more updates on this ongoing saga because there's no telling what will happen next. As time passes, it's clear that Shay's decision to walk away from Keion has sparked intense discussion. People are divided on whether she was right to make this choice, but what remains undeniable is her strength and determination to protect herself and her legacy. The public eye has followed her every move, and she has handled the pressure with grace. She's worked hard for her success, and now, in the face of betrayal, she's choosing to prioritize herself and her children. It's a tough decision, but one that many believe was inevitable given the circumstances. The controversy surrounding Keion's financial and personal life may continue to unfold, but for Shay, the most important thing is to keep moving forward. She is not letting her past define her future. With her business acumen and independence, she's proving that she is more than capable of navigating this difficult chapter of her life. The breakup between Shaunie and Pastor Keion Henderson revealed deeper issues than just a couple of disagreements. The combination of financial troubles, a lack of transparency, and conflicting values played a role in the unraveling of their marriage. It became evident that what the public had seen as a fairy tale romance was not the full story. Behind the scenes, there were significant challenges that ultimately led to their separation. While the world may have been shocked by the news of their divorce, Shaunie's decision to walk away was one that empowered her to continue building her empire and living life on her own terms. She wasn't about to let anyone else's problems hold her back or define her future. It may have been a tough chapter, but it was one that allowed her to rediscover herself and her strength as a woman, proving once again that she didn't need a man to define who she was. There were growing concerns about Keion's true intentions. People started questioning if his ministry had shifted focus from spiritual growth to prioritizing profit and status. Some wondered if he was using his connection with Shaunie O'Neal to shield himself from scrutiny over his questionable financial decisions. This situation became more complicated as time went on. It seemed like things were coming to a close, and Shay was ready to leave. An anonymous source close to her mentioned that she was a strong and intelligent woman who understood the business world. But this situation involving Keion was different. The source hinted that if Shay were closely watching Keion's financial activities and his fundraising requests, she might have second thoughts about their future together. In the middle of all this, rumors about financial mismanagement began to spread. People close to the situation claimed that money, which was supposed to be used for charitable causes and community outreach, was being misused. This is when things started to unravel. The questions surrounding Keion's financial decisions led many to wonder if this played a role in Shay's decision to file for divorce. Was she tired of being tied to a man whose business practices were being heavily criticized? Shay had always emphasized being authentic. She believed in being true to yourself and expressed this in public. But there was a deeper issue brewing, especially as rumors of financial misconduct circulated. It wasn't just about money, it was about trust. And as more information surfaced, things became messier. Shay's inner circle started to reveal that she had been consulting legal teams, even before filing for divorce. She had seen the warning signs and wasn't blind to what was happening. She had been preparing herself for months, anticipating the storm that was coming. She had seen the red flags and wasn't about to let herself be caught off guard. Things only got more complicated when whispers about Keion's alleged double life began to surface. There were reports claiming that Keion had been involved in inappropriate relationships with women in his congregation. Shay had been under enormous pressure. Not only was her marriage falling apart, but her husband, the man who had built a reputation on preaching about faith and trust, was now allegedly living a lie.